Okay, then we will. I hope you had a nice lunch and had a good conversations. Now we're going to start the afternoon program with nature and bio-based materials in the Nordics. And we get some influences from outside Nordics as well. We have both from UK and Germany and other places, and almost from US as well. Yeah. So I will start just for a brief introduction. That's me. So we all heard now that we're supposed to build with bio-based materials, of course. Why is that? The sequestering carbon and the growing and photosynthesis and all this we heard in the morning. So they're really good at, and we know these materials. They've been used for hundreds of years. There's not a problem really. We just, as we said before, we've just forgot about them. So we often say it's not innovative to use this, it's more re-innovative. We relearning, as another person said. And also in some new appliances, like here you have the Söld acoustic board. This one is eelgrass. We've used eelgrass before as well for insulation and roofing and everything. But acoustic panels, I don't know if we've used that before. So. And there's a lot of products coming out now. This is the Maxim straw board. Just the only glue they use is some egg whites and some lime. And you can see this was the tree I showed you in the beginning. This is the same thing, the cork. So instead of growing petrochemicals, you can grow cork. And you see the clay on top here. And in the middle there, you can also see this one is impregnated with clay to reduce the fire problem. And down here you have to get the reed as well. Reed is also, as you know, a common material in the vernacular historic sector. And here we're going to go to this place in the evening. This is Ecolution Factory. A picture from 2 weeks ago or so. So bio-based materials are great, of course, but they have some problems when we're going to adopt them into large-scale modern construction. And as you all know, large-scale modern construction, that's the bad boy in this sector. The one putting out the most carbon dioxide and also extracting the most virgin materials. So, but we have this other material that works well together with the bio-based, of course. That enables to enable the bio-based materials through the technical performance. Often is a problem when you use bio-based with its fire, moisture, and the density and acoustics and similar. But so you shouldn't build with earth instead of bio-based. You should combine them, the composite of bio-based and clay. And for virgin material, of course, you shouldn't extract much more materials, but this is a picture from Uppsala. This is a borrkärna core from drilling down. 50 meters down, and it's all clay. All clay. So they have plenty of clay there. The whole city is standing on 100 meters of clay, and same in Gothenburg, and all Skåne is made of clay. So just look out the window so you can see the clay buildings here, the historic ones. So there's plenty of this. The traffic authority have 8 million tons extra they want to get rid of. And I know the Danish have 15 million tons. I heard last year when I was there. So there's plenty of the material. And it have been used before. Yeah, and it's still standing. This is mainly unfired clay. This extra on top here, the fired clay, that's just a later addition to protect from the tourists. It standard Mongolian hordes and everything for thousands of years. And also you can build large scale. This is the Forelbag Museum. Many of you have seen before probably, but here they used clay plaster on 150,000 square meter. So it's possible to do it big. And as you all know, for technical performance, clay doesn't burn. What happens if you try to burn clay? It becomes bricks. Yeah, or tiles. Yeah, and we tried that for a long time, and it still doesn't burn. So, and we even have papers from the European Commission saying that clay doesn't burn. So we know this. And this is a test we've done at the Rice Institute, Rice, here in Sweden, saying that clay doesn't burn. So why don't we use clay more in the modern construction? One problem was there was no standard. But 10 years ago, the Germans made a standard for clay. And it's in Europe, so we can refer to that. But still, this is a risk evasion, so people are still afraid of reading German. So that's why we went in to produce a Swedish standard instead. We just copy the German standard and translate it. Yeah, we have to add something new as well. Otherwise, you have to go for the European level at once. But yeah, we copied it. We actually just got nominated for the standardization prize for this, if I can brag a bit. So as one of the 3 most important standards in Sweden this year. Overall standards in all sectors. So we didn't win, but the more important standard won. You can Google that later. So this will be released before the 21st of November, because then I'm going to present it down in Copenhagen at the Clay Building Symposium there. So I hope they will be ready with the last language check, checking the dots and the commas and stuff. And then we go for the mortar, clay mortar, and that's because we want to be able to use the reclaimed bricks, reused bricks. And then you need a clay mortar for that to be really sustainable. At the same time, we're pushing for the Nordic standard, of course. This is Stay Nordic, and we want to do a Nordic standard. So that's why I'm going to present this in Copenhagen, is to get the Danish on board. The Norwegians are already on board, and now we get one Finn here at least, half Finn. They can push for Finland, but Finland, I know that they're pushing it in Finland as well. And we got some production already with Ulf sitting here with a red Timberman Lambiac shirt there. This is his block, the Lode Smart block. And there's Tegelmäster doing some testing with this now. How can they implement this? Is the format correct, or should it be something else? Or how can we make this feasible in modern construction? And this also reclaimed bricks there. And so reclaimed bricks on the outside with water running and then unfired blocks on the inside. Another one here, it's if you were down to the Building Green a week ago, then you met Harris doing the same thing. Unfired clay blocks, I'm sorry. And we're gonna see tonight, we're gonna visit the ETC project in Hyllie. We really try to push for clay there as well. We'll see how it goes. But this is the next project they're gonna build up in Uppsala. And there we plan with the clay boards and clay plaster and all inner walls from start. It's harder to change the material late. And you have to think about this, because if we plan now, then we're going to erect it in 5 years. So plan the right materials now, so you won't be that much into a rush in the end. It's nicer. And one big thing now is actually the concrete guys in the Skanska and NCC who's building with the hollow core concrete slabs. Can we use clay as a screed on top here, a leveling compound? That makes it much easier to reuse this concrete hollow core slabs. And we're doing other projects with bio-based and clay. This is a Living Forest, Living Society, a Vinnova project I'm into. We will try to work with local timber, sustainable harvest timber, and the local sawmills, small sawmills, and using wooden nails to do NLT instead of CLT. We have NLT. We nail it together, and then clay on top, of course, to get the weight of it. Here's another project. If you talk about reed, for instance, here's the Naturum, Tåkern. So they harvest all the reed from the lake here, and as you can see, just because it's an old material doesn't mean that it has to look old. And here's another project from this Living Forest, Living Society project. The entrepreneur there, big partner in Dalarna, in Sweden. They're stealing some of the information there, and their new headquarters they're gonna try to push for these materials that we come up with in the project. So this is just a small introduction. I get some samples here. This compressed straw and compressed earth blocks, unfired, and yeah, some clay paints and stuff. So just when the speakers are ready, you can go and feel them in the break. Yeah, that's me. Okay. Next one coming up here is Marva.